What's up guys, MSD here, back with another video on Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I have finally finished the long-awaited, highly anticipated champion guide, the She-Hulk guide. Ever since She-Hulk got nerfed a few months ago, many people lost their value for She-Hulk as they only truly cared about her ability to chain in a heavy attack from a pre-existing combo without getting countered. Now, while this ability made her extremely valuable for a multitude of matchups, this is not what made her so fantastic. Yes, this ability did alleviate some stress of applying a heavy attack in certain situations, but her core mechanisms are still working as effectively as they ever have been. With a few small changes to the original playstyle, She-Hulk is still one of the most valuable slow champions in the entire game, all the while having an impressive set of accolades and abilities to go along with that. Let's begin. In order to understand why She-Hulk is as great as she is, we must first go over her standout abilities. First and foremost, she applies a slow on her heavy attack. Slow reduces the chance for the opponent to activate evade or unstoppable effects for 12 seconds. This time is actually increased by about 1 second, as She-Hulk's heavy attack is a 2-hit combo, and both of the hits reapply the slow. Therefore, the second hit of the heavy attack refreshes the duration of the first slow. Once you master the spacing of any matchup, this ability will become much more valuable, but more on this later. Her second most notable ability is her unique way of taunting the opponent. Each of her passive fury effects, applied by basic combos and launching the special one, applies an invisible 15% taunt onto the opponent, and can stack indefinitely. Taunted opponents have an increased chance to throw their special attacks, depending on how many furies you have stacked up. For example, if I have 5 furies stacked up, as I do right now, Juggernaut has an increased 75% chance to throw a special one over not having any stacked up at all. When the opponent does throw a special attack, the duration of She-Hulk's furies are reset, allowing for the damage output to continue. Last but certainly not least is the way She-Hulk can nullify unstoppable effects on the opponent. If the opponent is unstoppable, 6.2 champion for example, She-Hulk's heavy attack cannot be interrupted by any means whatsoever in the matchup. If she lands her heavy attack on an unstoppable opponent, she nullifies it and gains a passive fury with double the potency of her original fury. Based on a 565 character, She-Hulk's normal fury is an increase of 884.45, 35% of her attack, while her heavy fury is 70% of her attack at 1768.9. In order to master She-Hulk, you must learn these 3 concepts: spacing, fury timing, and power management. As a preface to this gameplay, do not expect to get all of this down in 1 hour. This will take time and practice to master, but don't feel discouraged. The end result will be truly glorious. Spacing. Spacing is essentially where your champion is located on the battlefield. Spacing is the alternative to She-Hulk's original chain heavy from a pre-existing combo. In the Abyss of Legends Luke Cage matchup, the spacing is key when performing a heavy intercept and a stand-up intercept. A good way of spotting your own spacing in a matchup is attempting to land a heavy attack from your current position. If the heavy attack lands, your spacing is within the hitbox of the opponent. But if it misses, your champion is too far away from the hitbox. How do you fix this spacing issue? Simple. Throw combos into the air. Now this may seem absurd, and is not necessary for all of She-Hulk's matchups, but throwing a light attack increases your own spacing on the battlefield and makes it much more likely that your heavy attack intercept will land. A recap on spacing. Spacing is the location of your champion on the battlefield. Testing out your own spacing is throwing a heavy attack in a matchup. If the heavy lands, your spacing is correct. If it falters, your spacing is incorrect. Throwing light attacks into the air increases your natural spacing, making heavy attacks much more likely to land. Once you master spacing, you must learn the stand-up intercept. These two skills go hand in hand. The stand-up intercept is essentially dashing in at the opponent after they have been knocked down, intercepting their recovery. You will see in the Luke Cage matchup that the stand-up intercept creates openings in the battle that normal intercepts may not be able to cover. While the stand-up intercept is not guaranteed to land every single time, most issues regarding it are on a champion-to-champion basis, meaning some champions are harder to land the openings than others. Recap on stand-up intercepts. Stand-up intercepting is interrupting the opponent's recovery time from a knockdown. While it's not guaranteed to land every single time, learning the stand-up intercept will create openings that normal intercepts will not be able to cover in certain matchups. Fury timing and power management. These two skills can be taught at the same time, as Fury timing can be affected by poor power management. Fury timing is how long you have to attack the opponent until they must use a special attack to refresh your Fury duration. You will notice in the Luke Cage matchup that the Furies have a decent duration, but in the Thing matchup, they will have the most amount of uptime. She-Hulk's Fury duration depends on how large the opponent is. Small and medium champions are more challenging to maintain a high Fury count, while large and extra large champions are much more manageable. Fury duration is increased by up to 50% depending on the size of the opponent, small having the shortest duration, while extra large having the longest. Simply reading the tag of your opponent will let you know how difficult it will be to maintain your Furies. A recap on Fury timing. Fury timing is how long you have to attack the opponent before your Fury duration must be reset by the opponent using a special attack. Larger sized champions have a higher duration of Furies, while smaller sized champions have a shorter duration of Furies. Reading the tagline of your opponent will let you know how difficult it may be to maintain a high Fury count. Power management. Power management ties into Fury timing as one can bring down the other. Power management refers to both your own power bar and the opponent's power. The way power management is being used here is to allow openings for you, the player, to attack, and windows for you to activate special attacks safely. This is the most complex skill to understand, but is necessary for a mastery of She-Hulk gameplay. As you can see in the Jane Foster matchup, I'm using the special one to either give myself an opening or push Jane Foster to a power threshold that allows for more than one window of an attack. Making sure the opponent has a bar and a half of power at minimum after throwing a special attack or ending a combo allows for multiple openings to occur as the opponent is constantly using their special 1 or special 2. Managing your own power simply makes it easier to maintain a steady amount of Furies and push the opponent to a certain power threshold if need be. If you can perfect your power management, the other skills may seem easier to achieve. A recap on power management. Power management is maintaining your own power bar and the opponent's power bar, to either give yourself an opening or allow for safety in special attack activation. This being a complex skill will acquire a lot of practice and mastery in order to fully maintain the cycle. Smaller champions may seem more difficult to manage power as Fury duration is cut down, although it is still possible to achieve. Making sure the opponent has more than a bar and a half or 2.5 bars of power when either throwing a special attack or ending a combo allows for multiple openings to occur as the opponent will be using multiple special attacks. The purpose for managing your own power is to make it easier to maintain a steady amount of Furies and to push the opponent to that certain power threshold if need be. that concludes the guide to She-Hulk. It may not be as lengthy as other guide videos, but the information could not have been drawn out over a 20-minute video. If you have any other questions regarding anything mentioned in the video, please let me know in the comments down below. I would be more than happy to assist you. Thank you all very much for watching. Apologies for how late this video is. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.